Lego Kingdoms. Let's talk about it. Lego Kingdoms, not to be confused with Knights Kingdom 1 or 2, was released to Lego Castle fans in mid-2010 and surprisingly discontinued in 2012 for what is now known as Castle 2013. Kingdoms was the successor to the successful and possibly theme-saving 2007 Fantasy era. With the theme bouncing back, LEGO had a lot of momentum riding behind Kingdoms, and man, LEGO took full advantage of it. This theme saw never-before-seen pieces like a horse helmet for battle armor, new goats, a new knight's helmet, and a portcullis piece. I hope I said that correctly. Taking place in the medieval time period, Kingdoms has 15th century European-style builds. Unlike the fantasy era, Kingdoms stuck with more realistic designs that made for some amazing sets. In total, we got 16 sets, with the most notable ones being Kingdom's Joust, King's Castle, and the Mill Village Raid, famous for having the only goat until the release of the Goat Herder in January of 2024. If you wanted to get all 16 sets back when they were on retail shelves, you could pick them up for an easy $492.34, US that is. Now I say easy because if you wanted to get all sealed sets today, it would cost you roughly $2,400. Or you could pick them up used for, just under $1,608. For the sealed sets, that's just under a 400% increase in price after retirement, and in my opinion, that shows how special this theme was. And now for the minifigures. Now, unlike the Fantasy era castle theme, Kingdoms went back to the usual two factions. Those two factions were the Lion Kingdom and the Dragon Kingdom. Now, at first, when you're hearing this, you might be thinking, another Lion faction, we already have enough of those. But hold on a second. These Lion Knights are unique with a red and white color scheme, and their shields have a golden lion with a red and white checkered background. These Lion Knights were led by a king and had a whole royal family that included a queen, princess, and the Lion Prince. As the good guy faction of this theme, the Lion Knights were a defensive faction that relied on their towers. There are many different knights in the Lion Kingdom's army. I'll list those on the screen now. Now, on to the Dragon Kingdom, and these guys are some of the most popular minifigures of all time. This faction had a dark green and black color scheme, with their accessories coming in the infamous pearl dark gray color. Now, these minifigures were, dare I say, perfect, and are a big reason why Castle 2013 is so disliked. You can watch my video on that right at the top of the screen here. Opposite of their counterpart in the Lion Knights, these guys were an offensive force led by an angry, ill-tempered wizard. These guys were as brutal as they looked. They had siege weapons that give a bit of a throwback to Cedric the Bull and his faction back in 2000. Their shields had two shades of yellow in a checkered pattern in the background with a green dragon on them. And guys, if you don't have any of these minifigures, I could not recommend enough that you go out and get at least one of these guys from this faction to add to your collection. They are that good. Now back to the army. The Dragon Knights also had a queen along with their wizard, although the queen was not involved in the story. She was just found in the Kingdom's chess set. But like the Lion Knights, I'll put the other Dragon Knights in this army on the screen now. Now, I know I said there were two factions in this theme, but there's technically a third, and that faction can be seen in the Kingdom's Joust set. The knight is the Falcon Knight and closely resembles the Black Falcons of old, as seen by his shield, and this got people excited for the potential return of that faction, with that potential being realized in 2021 with the release of the LEGO Icons Blacksmith set. And with that, I've covered the theme, but if it was so popular, why in the world would LEGO discontinue it? In my research, I found a few reasons why. The first being because Kingdoms was on store shelves for over 2 years. Usually, LEGO gives themes a 2-year lifespan and discontinues them to keep things fresh. Castle 2013 was LEGO's attempt to refresh the Castle line. Secondly, 2012 was also around the time LEGO made a huge push for licensed themes. This meant the rise of Lego Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit being released to correspond with the Hobbit movies that were released from 2013 to 2015. With Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit being medieval fantasy worlds, LEGO didn't feel the need to have a castle theme going at the same time to eliminate competition between the themes. They tried with Kingdoms and Castle 2013, but their sales were slowed down due to the existence of the Lord of the Rings theme. Finally, my third reason is that the interest in medieval things overall in 2012 was starting to dip, and Lego was genuinely not seeing as many sales as they were, as kids weren't nearly as invested in, being knights and kings and castles and all that stuff. This factor is part of the reason why we haven't gotten a true castle theme in so long, with, kids' interests being so different from generation to generation. There's not nearly as many kids that want to have dragons and castles. And that's a big factor because Lego's a toy company and their primary audience is kids. Because ultimately, kids are going to drive what Lego wants to go towards. With that being said, however, Lego is also making a push to get more adult fans. And right now, there are a ton of adult Lego fans that want more castle stuff. But the consequence of adults wanting it versus kids wanting it is that we're just going to continue to get these $200, $300, $400 sets instead of any of the cheaper sets that we'd get in a true castle theme. With those reasons, that makes me believe that maybe the popularity with this theme, just retains to the people in their 20s and up is from nostalgia. And maybe that's just because this is the last widely beloved castle theme, but its seemingly abrupt ending left and still leaves LEGO Kingdoms fans wanting more. And with that is going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, leave a like and subscribe, as only about 6% of people watching are subscribed. And we're trying to push for 500 subscribers by the end of February. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.